Hi guys, today's update is quite exciting because I haven't done it before and it's a really fun project for me. It's our chicken food forest which we planted 2 years ago. So it's basically a food forest designed for chickens. It's supposed to give us food, but also any fallen fruit, low-hanging fruit and the weeds are for the chickens, and the chickens are going to do the work for us for the weeding, keep the weeds down and the fertilizing. So I'm standing here in front of the chicken run where we have the chicken compost system, and in a sec I'm going to go through the chicken food forest and show you some of the things we thought about when planting, and show you some of the mistakes we've made and some of the good bits that we've done. So stick around. I'm Lawrence, and please do leave a comment and remember to subscribe. So over there are meat chickens. As well, in here we have our egg chickens. They share the place because the chicken food that we can get, the organic chicken food, there's only one type, so they can all stay together here in the chicken compost system. Just in front, we're going to first go through some guilds just to explain to you what they are. So here we have here we have in front of the chicken house a neem tree. It's a cousin of the neem tree, which is a great tree for making pesticides, for making soaps, and for Ayurvedic medicine. So around this neem tree we have some flowers. So there's tansy. We have a ground cover of comfrey, and we have strawberries. We have some bulbs. At the back we also have black currants. We've got hidden amongst here grapevine. So there's 3 grapevines that are going to cover this fence. On the other side we've got 2 different types of elderberry. We've got goji berry, olive, and it's just completely full of herbs. Herbs are good for medicine, good for chickens. So we've got oregano, mugwort, and the whole carpet of strawberries. As you'll see in the chicken food forest, we use strawberries everywhere, just all different types. This is a mock strawberry that just covers the ground. So that's basically an olive tree guild, and this is a neem tree guild. So one guild is a tree with companion plants, so usually flowers for attracting pollinators, dynamic accumulators or nitrogen fixers for bringing up minerals, ground covers, climbers, and we have that in each guild. I plant all the companion plants and the keystone tree, the main tree, at the same time because we have to irrigate it anyway. And many guilds makes up a polyculture. So here we have a polyculture of neem, olive and elderberry, and also peach. So the peach tree gets leaf curl, and this wormwood, big shrub here, and the alliums and the chives supposedly help with the leaf curl. We've got flowers. In any spaces we plant vegetables which will self-seed. This is chard, so we can grab the leaves and chuck it in to get in. We've got there a long-term perennial vegetable ground cover, which is horseradish, which really will take over. And then along the fence we have 3, at the bottom of that blue string we have 3 hops to cover this fence. And we also got a guild here of pomegranate. So these 3 guilds have quite a lot of flowers, and that's because they are right by our straw bale community house. So this is where our guests will eat and hang out when they come to join us for internships, food forest courses and things like that. We've got an elderberry guild as well here with lots of flowers like hollyhock, edible flowers. Perennial vegetable here is groundnut, which is a nut that is also an underground tuber, which is also a climber. So it climbs along there as a nitrogen fixer. That's the entrance to the food forest, chicken food forest, which we'll go through in a minute. Just going to show you here the clay wattle and daub chicken house, all made of natural materials except for the roof, that's second hand. Eucalyptus from our land, you see, for the roof. Telegraph poles, recycled windows. We have this recycled wood made box where we get the eggs. Right now we're not getting many eggs from this box because we have 6 chickens sitting, which is quite cool. So we're going to have quite a few chicks soon. Usually we move these to the chicken tractor, but the chicken tractor has young meat chickens that we're raising in there. Then the back of the chicken house has this door, which has not been in use. The back door, because this is the back door entrance to the chicken food forest. So they haven't come in here yet because we were letting the plants established, and I'm now ready for them to come in. I would have put them in this spring before the grass and weeds grew long, but we didn't have the fencing. So our friend Jonathan's now donated the fencing to us. So thank you, Jonathan. So I need to go and get that and install that, and then we'll start to let them in. But anyway, I need to trim this, and I wanted to film before I trim. So I need to cut all the grass, put out all the weeds, not pull them out, just rip them out. And all of that organic matter from cutting the grass is just really good for helping to build the soil. So just before we take the tour of the food forest, to give you a bigger picture, we have here, with the sun coming up, going down, is the chicken compost system. On the other side is a silver pasture for sheep and chickens, and on the back side is a reforestation field, and obviously this side is a chicken food forest. So from this autumn the chickens will rotate between these 3 different agroforestry plantations so that they get even more food. They help us fertilize and also clean up the area. So the food forest actually starts inside the run, and we'll start to go through some of the plants now. So we've got a plum, damson plum, 2 different types of damson plums. There's one outside the fence and one here. Also 2 types of American pawpaws, North American pawpaws. They're looking pretty small. They're looking better than last year though. They, to be honest, could have gone somewhere with more shade, but that's something that we lack. All along the fence here are these tayberries. These are from cuttings, they're quite young, and they go all the way along the fence. And on the back fence, they're already established and we're getting fruit. Inside we have mulberry, which I took from a cutting. It's a black mulberry. Sorry, that's a black mulberry from seed, and inside is a mulberry, white mulberry from a cutting. And inside the chicken run is a fig, apricot, apple, 3 different types of elderberry, Siberian pea shrub, just a whole load of trees. But that's not quite what we have here in the chicken food forest. So where I am now is going to be a fence, and the entrance will be here. So the main difference with the plantation compared to the food forests, which I have to weed, I don't want to weed, so I made a chicken food forest. The main difference here is I have much more spacing between trees and shrubs and herbs to allow everything to grow to full size. We didn't do that in the food forest because we wanted to make it easier for irrigation and to just pack in all the plants. But here I want to leave lots of space for weeds, which are really good for the chickens to eat. So as we enter here, we have a swale with a bridge so we can walk over. This swale catches water when it rains, and in here we have lots of plants growing. We have this sage, different weeds, alfalfa. We have chocolate mint all on the bottom, and this myrtle is the one doing the best on the farm. That's very good for making a liqueur. On the other side of the swell, we're still here, we have a Telia lime tree, so this is going to grow huge and put lots of shade, which is something we need. On this side of the swell, there are just herbs and mint, and we got sea buckthorn in the nursery ready to plant this winter. Sea buckthorn being a nitrogen fixer. So we're going to walk through the food forest. One of the techniques I like to use across the farm is browsing fruit. So on the path where I am now, we have fruit which we can browse. Like this is a pawpaw. We have 3 types of pawpaw, not pawpaw, persimmon. So the idea is that when the persimmon fruit is ripe, we can harvest it and eat it. And we want food that we can harvest and eat as we're walking around. Browsable fruit on the paths. So we have always bulbs. Next to every tree I plant bulbs which give flowers. We have here yarrow, more of this mock strawberry. This is a strawberry I grew from seed. The seed was called giant raspberry. But anyway, this is what I got. But it just spread so fast. And I put it by every tree. And now it's spread across the chicken food forest. So they'll get these strawberries when they come in here. Along the back, we have their asparagus. And this must be a female because that looks like a seed, which is good. So I need more seeds for next year. And yeah, there's loads of asparagus along the back here. We have asparagus beds all over the farm. It's just wonderful to have perennial vegetables everywhere. Then you've always got food. So like I was saying, browsable fruit. This is an apricot, so we can harvest and eat. And then we have baby sage. Is a really nice shrub to have. Underneath all this grass, I know it's full of a very nice strawberry for us. This is a Korean anise hyssop. There's quite a lot of that here. This has really got a nice aniseedy smell and taste. And it has this really nice flower and it attracts a lot of bees. We've got a wormwood there. And another apricot. Was that a peach? Well, I thought I planted an apricot there. And yeah, just lots of shrubs, you know. Lots of things in here for berries, like more strawberries. This is tayberry. The idea is the chickens are going to get the low-hanging fruit and the fallen fruit, and I'm going to get the rest. This is another neem tree. This is such a good tree because it grows so well here, this type of neem. It grows so fast. This is taller than me, and it's grown from seed 2 years ago. Just here outside the chicken food forest, across the fence, is a row of raspberries and tayberries, which need to get moved to a new food forest we're doing next year in a lower terrace where it's more wet. So there's a container here. There's an old fridge. We use this for accommodation, so if you ever visit us, you're welcome to stay in here. And there's a map drawn by our friend Kirsty of the land to scale. She's a map maker. So if you ever come here, you've got no excuse if you get lost. Up here we have more guilds outside the chicken food forest. So there's a beautiful guild there next to the long drop compost toilet. This is a long drop compost toilet connected to a worm farm, and there's an article on that in the latest Permaculture magazine that you can check out. Behind there's the original food forest, the first food forest, and here is the windbreak for it. So there's hawthorn, behind there's a cedar, in front there's a peach. Then we have along in the chicken food forest, kiwi. We've got lots of these different herbs. This is mugwort. Here is a fig we grew from a cutting, a baby of one of our other trees. On the windbreak, we have more trees there. Mediterranean cypress, cedar. Here we have chokeberry. I try to collect as many different edible things as possible. The more we collect, the more of the year we have ripe fruit. Although the chokeberry isn't very nice, fresh, but we can make it into jams or jellies. We've got here a medlar, 3 different types of medlar. Here's one type, a different type of chokeberry, kiwi to go on the fence. And actually the whole of this fence has peas. The peas are now dry. I need to harvest the seeds to plant next year. This is loquat and a Chinese cedar behind the wall. So that will look good when it's grown. And another medlar. So again, we're trying to collect as many different types of fruits here as possible. I'm not really going for exotic fruit. I'm researching, finding fruit that grows in our climate naturally, but maybe comes from different countries. Then on this side, we have my favourite tree on the farm. behind these weeds is a tree, the leaves, and this is called chaste tree or pepper tree. Has a beautiful blue flower, a bit like mint, and loads of big seeds, which are a black pepper replacement. So we can grow things here instead of importing them, at least some replacements. This is a wonderful sunken bed. Everything grows fantastic. Like here's sage. That is a cherry tree there. And in front of the cherry tree is marshmallow. Actually, the marshmallow sweet is actually made from the root of that. So that's too weedy to find all the plants. Lavender. Then we have 2 apricots here. So the apricots always plant these wormwoods. That one's doing fantastic. This old apricot's doing terribly because it's next to this cedar. And then I've got another apricot here, which is doing much better. So again, browsing fruit on the path. As we start to go away from the path to the back here, well, first we've got this dogwood, and we've got this ash tree. Originally I planted a plum here, but it died, and it must have had an ash seed in the pot. Got that from Tito. Goji berries are everywhere, grows so well here. So yeah, as we start to go away from the path, everything is more like fruit, which you harvest and process. For example, elderberry, to make elderberry champagne. Okay, so if we have to process it, we plant it further from the path. This is strawberry. So I kind of do that with everything. Like this is a prune tree, the type of plum that you dry to make prunes. So we plant this, so we have to walk there and harvest it and dry it. If we're going to eat it fresh, we plant it on the path. And here's a nice mulberry tree, which I grew from a cutting. It's already taller than me. A nice rosemary bush that has lots of space. Lots of weeds and grass, and can't find all the plants. So here is a pomegranate that likes lots of sun. That's grown from a cutting as well that we took. So yeah, along the back are all these plants which we process. This one is just a juniper berry to make gin. Why not make our own alcohol as well? We're making wine. We can work on expanding. Here's another neem tree. This is just great because it's going to put so much shade here. There used to be another elderberry here, but it just died because not enough shade. Holm oak, that was already here. We can use that to make a flower. Then we have this nice shrub. This is a quince, which we're growing as a shrub. We're back here by the plum. And then we have the rosemary and sage. And this is another dogwood, a different type of dogwood. Every time you hear me saying different type, I never plant 2 of the same variety. I note down the variety in my spreadsheet. If it dies, I can replace it, but I'm trying to get as diverse as possible in our fruit. This is a peach tree that actually died, and it's only growing from below the graft. And this has got leaf curl, it's not doing good. And funnily enough, it's only got a small wormwood. Generally, when there's a big wormwood there, they haven't got leaf curl. Anyway, the plan is next year to graft 4 different types of apricot onto there, because apricot do fantastic. Behind here, we have this josterberry. There's one here. And the josterberry is a cross between gooseberry and currant. I think between gooseberry and raspberry, I think. Not sure. But anyway, it's all the way along the whole of the centre of the food forest, and hopefully they'll grow, spread into a hedge. We've got oregano there, wild lavender everywhere. Here is an apricot, and there was a bit of a myrtle hedge here which died, and I'm planning to replace that next year from the nursery, so let's see. Yeah, as we come in this way, the other tree that died It's this, unfortunately, this carob tree, which was the long-term plan as a canopy here, but that needs to be replaced. And then, yeah, oregano, continuation of the jostaberry hedge. And then as we come back to the path, we've got another very small hedgerow of 3 of these chokeberries, 3 red and then 3 black. And the ground story, ground cover is this thyme, and that goes all the way along there amongst the grass. One of the trees here is this Siberian pea shrub. We've got a few of these around. This one's doing the worst, unfortunately, but they're all not doing great. But they are surviving, so maybe they'll push through, because these are really good for chicken fodder, and that's kind of what we want. Obviously, this is a chicken food forest, and the design has been food that is for us, but chickens like to eat. So that's kind of like a quick tour. I'm going to now trim this. It's getting cool. Cut all this grass back, put all the irrigation back in place, because it hasn't really been irrigated properly or at all this year, and some things are getting thirsty. So I'm going to irrigate it all, trim it all, and at the end of the summer, when we've got some growth, I'll give you a fresh update. This is the guild in front of the chicken house, with strawberries coming into the path. Strawberry plants getting in the way, huh? So let's go into the chicken house. We built this chicken house on one of our internships, and we finished it on a natural building course with Mount of Oaks with Barbara. And there was some very arty folk on the students. They're very arty. So we've got some wonderful bits of art in here. Just trying to close the door as the chickens are starting to go to bed. They all climb up here, and they like to stay at the top. So obviously these are all the egg chickens sleeping or getting ready to sleep, except for these 6 which are sitting on the eggs, and they're going to turn these eggs into chicks, hopefully. Normally we move them to the, I think I told you that already. Here's some more artwork. Now, what we're missing are the meat chickens. They've only recently come out the chicken tractor, so let's see if they come in by themselves. We've got this automatic door closer, so that will close when it gets dark. Come on, guys. In you go. Home time. Home time. Home time. Come on. You should know by now. You've done it last night. Come on. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the update on the chicken food forest. I'm here now in the chicken house. Anyway, if you've got any comments, please do leave them in the comment box below. I'm going to be doing some more tours of the other agroforests in the next few days. So if you want to see them, please subscribe. Right now I'm giving you a tour before I trim, and then I'll give you another tour later in the summer after some growth. So thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.